Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante, bringing truth to the citizens of Gotham. This is the People's Channel. I can't do this channel without you. There's great ways to support us scrolling below. You can do the Venmo at Graham-Elwood, rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, blockchain cryptocurrency platform, and patreon.com/Graham Elwood. And super chats and becoming a YouTube member. A lot of great ways to support the show. And you can go to GrahamElwood.com. We have a P.O. box. Some of you prefer to support the show anonymously. Totally cool. Respect that. I even have a Bitcoin wallet. I have an Ethereum wallet too, but I'm kind of done with the altcoins. If you want to support the show with Bitcoin, very much appreciate that. That is all listed in the comment section, in the description, the video description. So I've talked a lot on the show for the last 4 years about crypto and Bitcoin. And thanks to Max Kaiser 2 years ago, I really started to understand the difference between Bitcoin and crypto. One of the things Max Kaiser said when he was on my show, and him and Stacy were on my show 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago in 2021, he didn't warn specifically about FTX, but he warned about how these altcoins, these creating these exchanges, and they're creating their own coin, and how corrupt they were. He basically predicted what happened with FTX and how corrupt it is. And basically FTX and the Binance guy, the CZ guy for Binance, they're both corrupt. They got into a fight. So it's like two corrupt guys fighting, but it's more and more why I am just becoming a Bitcoin maximalist. And a lot of people go on this journey and they gamble with all these crypto coins and hope they're going to strike it rich. And then you realize Bitcoin is the one to go with. So Sam Bankman-Fried is now on trial, and we've done some videos on it. We talked about how he gave $30 million to Democrats, and that's why the Democrats didn't really prosecute him that hard. We showed how his parents are actually architects in the scam. We showed how his girlfriend was in on it. But now his girlfriend is selling him out in testimony. She's giving testimony saying, oh, he made me do it. Which I don't believe her, but it's funny. They're all weasels and rats, and she's obviously cut a deal. They said, we want Sam Bankman-Fried. And she said, I'll cut you a deal. And they said, we'll give you some immunity or whatever. She's going to get a lighter sentence, or she's going to get a slap on the wrist if she just basically gives up all the information about him. So this is from Yahoo Finance. We'll play this.
But also goes squarely to the case the prosecutors are trying to make against Sam Bankman-Fried, that he knew exactly what he was doing. That's sort of been his defense. He didn't really know, but she made it pretty clear in her testimony, right, that he knew what he was doing, and he knew that it wasn't legal or on the up and up or ethical or whatever you want to call it.
Yes, well, I would agree with you completely there. No, we didn't get into whether or not they were saying to each other, is this legal? I don't know. But what certainly they were talking about was, where is the money coming from? And the money was coming from, according to Caroline's testimony, customer funds. And Sam knew this, and according to other witnesses that we've heard during this trial, Sam directed it. She knew it. She was, as she's pled guilty, she was complicit in it. And that really is at the heart of this case, whether Sam and whether FTX and Alameda were taking these customer funds, and if that was something that they were allowed to do. Now, we haven't gotten to hear completely yet the defense make its case as to whether they were allowed to be doing this, but according to prosecutors and according to Caroline, they most certainly were not.
And Danny, what are the implications, you think, of this case for the broader crypto space? Are there implications? Some people said, listen, it's a big headline, it's a big case, but ultimately it's old news. It's a guy who was billed as a visionary, and now he's in a jail cell. Do you agree with that, or do you think there are implications, there are ripple effects, or at the very least there are some lessons learned for the broader industry today?
Well, there are certainly lessons learned, and there's a lot of, I guess you'd say, old news. Like, we're not learning brand new, huge details about what's going down, but we are getting very important little bits about how everything played out. And this is a little bit feeling like crypto itself is being on trial. Now, Sam, in part through the media's work, was held up as this golden boy during his time as the head of FTX. He was looked to as a visionary, as someone who really knew what was going on, and he obviously wasn't. In court today, Caroline was talking about how they really didn't even know how much money they had loaned out. One of the last pieces we heard today was looking at this piece of evidence where she had written out the different loans that Alameda had taken from FTX. There was $1 billion of Bitcoin, $1 billion of another cryptocurrency, and then $10 billion USDC with a question mark next to it. They didn't even know how much money that they were borrowing because their books were not really that well. And I wouldn't say the books were cooked, but no one was watching the kitchen.
Danny, what happens now? What's expected next at the trial?
You know, this is really the star witness. We, the reporters that have been crowding here, I think I got here today at, 4:50 in the morning. We've been looking forward to Caroline's testimony as the highlight of the trial. It's a 6-week trial. This is only week 2. There's a whole lot to come. We don't know what's going to happen next, but I would expect that because just today we heard the very start of Caroline's testimony. All of tomorrow is probably going to be Caroline. And I'm most looking forward to the cross-examination, where the defense team attempts to discredit her, place blame on her, say, well, maybe there was something wrong, but it was Caroline's fault, not Sam's. And it's going to be spicy. So it's something to watch out for, to be sure.
Wow. There it is, folks. So she, as predicted, she made a deal. She pled guilty. And this is part of Sam Bankman-Fried's thing was like, oh, he started playing when he was everybody's darling a year or two ago, he was like, well, I'm Johnny Hipster. I just drive a Corolla and have a bunch of roommates. And they, the media was kissing his ass. And then when this all came out, he's like, gee, we didn't know. He played this like, I'm just a silly little gamer nerd. He knew. And she just sold him out. I love watching corrupt people sell each other out. I know it's just funny to me because they're just like, you're all corrupt little rats and you all were in on it. And then you just scurry around to protect your own self-interest. Like she's obviously guilty. She pleaded guilty. So they want to get the head. They always want to get the kingpin. So they got him. They're going to get him, hopefully. But we'll see what kind of slap on the wrist she gets. We'll see what kind of slap on the wrist he gets. Or is he going to take the fall and the parents are going to get the like, oh, our son he's a wayward, guilty child. We didn't know what happened because the parents are not innocent. No one is innocent. They knew what they were doing. They just ran the scam train and here you go. So, and that guy he was from CoinDesk. We've referred to CoinDesk a lot on this show. It's a good resource in terms of what's going on in the Bitcoin and crypto space. And I'll be posting more videos. I was at Pacific Bitcoin, the conference. It's a Bitcoin only conference run by Swan. I have interviews with Corey Klepston from Swan. And so I highly recommend watching that. And also watch my interviews of everybody from El Salvador talking about Bitcoin. So this is relevant because the price dropped to 15,000, 16,000 a coin last November when this happened. And it's since come back. Now it's trading at whatever, 28,000 or something like that. So follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. Support what we're doing. Go to GrahamElwood.com and shave your knuckles for justice. Boom.